Hello everyone. Welcome aboard. Hope you all have a great day. Enjoy this Throwback Tuesday. Then like the commercial says, who doesn't like a good throwback? We're throwing it back to 1985. Pan Am was still alive, albeit struggling. Mostly an international airline, now trying to figure out how to make it in a uh, uh, chopped up airline world, a deregulated version. So, welcome in. And while they were also flying some of the great classics of the sky, today we're taking one of those, a 727. So, yeah, they had a lot of struggles, folks. A lot of airlines did in the 80s trying to figure out how to go from regulated to deregulated, and those who had solid domestic schedules, while not safe, were in better shapes than those without. So, in Pan Am's defense, they did buy a domestic carrier, just they too were struggling. So it doesn't always help that way. I always said, and I get grief for it, had Pan Am and TWA quit burying the hatchet between the two and decided to come together into an airline, I wonder what we would have seen today. I'm just curious, would they have been able to make it? Because both of them were the icons of their days. And wow, those two could have came together. Like I said, buried the hatchets between them, not in them, but just buried it. I wonder if we wouldn't have one whale of a great airline. Of course, they'd argue which name would take precedence. But anyway, we digress. So, welcome aboard, folks. We're flying a Pan Am flight, speaking of, from Indianapolis to Miami. Back in the day, this was Pan Am. Bear with me a second here. My screen hung up on me. Flight 557, service to Miami. Actually had service from JFK to Cleveland to Indianapolis, and now last leg, Indianapolis to Miami. Remember those days, folks, those of you that can. Yeah, there were some pretty wicked flights out there like that. So, not saying the same crew, but the same plane. All right, so let's get up in the office area here and see what kind of damage we can do with a retro bird. All right, there we go, folks. I'd be a little remiss here. You know, I told you this is a classic, and most classic aircraft, well, you had to have three people to safely fly them. Didn't have to, because we're going to fly it with one person. But in the real world, they put three in the cockpit. You had your captain and your co-pilot, first officer, as I like to call them, pretty boys. And then behind them, the man that did all the work. Now, I think the panel that he had was a little bigger than this, but for flight simming's sake, yeah. But this guy controlled it all. He monitored the engines, the fuel, the pressures, zation process, the electricity. I mean, he did it all, folks, so that those guys up front could look good to y'all. Because when they had a good landing, you know, they are the ones they looked to. Didn't realize he had a lot to do with it, too. Of course, a lot of tongue-in-cheek there, folks. These guys had the hard job of pushing the switch to go to sleep. No, to, you know, keep the aircraft on course. So they had to do their job as well. All right, so speaking of which, let's pop up here in the office and pull in Sim Toolkit and see what today has to offer for us. All right, there you go. Got Sim Toolkit up here, folks. You can see quite a different, well, not really. I mean, yesterday we had a lot of storms at the destination, but not at the arrival point. Today, it's kind of in the middle. We'll fly, well, we're going to stay ahead of them, but they're not going to reach Miami till maybe tonight, tomorrow. So, pretty nice, not too bad of a day. Loadout dispatch is telling us payload of 19,550 pounds. Zero fuel weight of 117,150 when it's all said and done. They have scheduled us for 33,559 pounds of fuel, and 85 people will grace our aircraft today to fly to Miami, Florida. Today we're flying off of 5 right here. I thought I had us on the left, but we can change that up. Miami, we're planning 8 right. Might shoot 1-2, depends how the winds evolve going that way. And we'll show you a neat little trick you can do on any flight, but really when you start going coast to coast, or you start putting an hour or two en route, you can kind of see the trend unfolding for you. Little trick I'll show you. But we're going to fly the Dawn. Now, have you noticed the flight plan here, folks? While longer in distance, shorter in length. Welcome to the differences of flying in different parts of the world. Kind of interesting. But anyway, Dawn 1 to Louisville, IIU, Q79 to THRSR, to HONID, then to Q81 to ENDEW, 104 to St. Pete, Florida, to the Palms to arrival. And like I said, we're scheduling 8 right, but we'll be ready for 1-2, because really when you see the weather about to show here, you'll get the picture. All right, speaking of weather, right now the pressure is standard here at 70 degrees in Indy. Winds are currently 070 at 9. Got an overcast sky. Oh, my apologies. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm yawning, folks, but overcast at 23. Maybe I need to pick up the pace here, and I don't really know why the yawns all of a sudden come on. But anyway, overcast sky, 2300, 10 miles visibility, and as we see above, it's 15 degrees Celsius. I'm sorry. I misread my temp up there. It's 59 degrees here, winds 070. Totally misread that, folks. And again, the pressure is standard. Pretty decent day here. All the actions in between us. Going down to Florida. Pressure is up a little bit, 30.04. Winds, here's what I was saying. You'll see why I'm thinking. 120 at 7. My thoughts are thinking to runway 12, but we'll stick to 8 if need be. Temp, 26 degrees Celsius. There's our 78 degrees. So a pretty much beautiful day down there, 10 miles visibility. We're going to have some pesky clouds at 3,200 and 5,000. If we were to go in at the moment, we'll see what they'll be like when we get there. So, but anyway, it looks like just a beautiful day for flying. Again, here you can see half our route at least, and those storms pretty much hanging off to our west. Pretty decent distance. We shouldn't have too much trouble. Now, one thing I do want to bring in here is sim brief. Sometimes I do go straight down here. Let's find our flight here to view. Why is that? That's kind of wrong. Try this again. Saved. About saved flights, not aircraft. Now let's view. There we go. I think I know what happened. It hadn't refreshed. All right. Show detail. Oh, wait. You know what? We'll do it quicker. Flight maps. There we go. All right, so let's take a look at these, shall we? Here's the one I was concerned with, so you can see what we're dealing with. Here's the SIGMET, folks, or the area of thunderstorms we saw on the radar. So we have occasional embedded CBs to 46,000 within this cloud line. More importantly, though, folks, look at this jet kicking through here. That's 115 knots, 45 knots here, folks. Between 39, oh, at flight level, well, that's kind of weird. 390 to 390. So, that's weird how that's put in here. So it's at 390. 340 to 450, we're going to have a whale of a crosswind, and then it should ease up. That's interesting in itself. Whoop, go like that. Click over. All right, here's our flight level. For the most part, we're at 35, so you can see pretty solid crosswind there. So, but anyways, some neat things you can pull up here. And you can do this either on a web browser or embed it with Sim Toolkit like I have. Here's how you do that. Just come in here, pull up SimBrief, put in the website you want it to go to, and there it is. D8is the same thing. All right, let me get rid of this. Let's get flying with Mike, shall we? All right, we are in the 727, like I said, for Pan Am. There are a couple of checklists out there. One you can get by joining Piedmont Virtual. They actually have it on their site. I'm not going to be showing it. To me feels like proprietary information. Needs to stay with them, but it doesn't mean I can't use it, as I am still a member. But the one that I recommend to a lot of people, it is actually very informative. Let me show it to you here. I mean, I could do this another way, but this works. Go to charts, and I've just followed the directions in AvTab to put this in here. And here's the one I use from Solaris. And I don't know who Solaris is, but that's, I guess, a virtual airline. I don't know. But it's a good checklist. So, check them out. Just do a Google search. All right, let's get up here. Real quick, let's do some basics here. Logbook's been checked, landing gear pins aboard. Let's do an overheat and fire warning check. Okay, so as we come down here, we'll do our cargo area. CVR, or cockpit voice recorder. We'll set this to 2000. We'll bump it to on. All right, and we've got our no smoking light lit and no seatbelt signs off. Okay, just coming down, overheat checks. Okay. I don't know how to get these to test, folks, but I still do them just to be safe. And we'll head down to the ones everyone's used to. There's the 3 fire bells. Oh my, we've actually had them go off in flight, so. Anyway, and your discharges are underneath. Finally, if we come over here, we have some more overheats. I don't think we can actually test them over here. Let me check. No, I can. Oh, the only other one we can check, I'm just double checking. No, I can't check any others, is the APU fire check. Hey, and that was good. All right, so the overheat and fire checks are good. Start levers in the cutoff position. And while we're here, just telling us we're not prepared for takeoff yet. Flaps aren't deployed. Parking brake is still on. Mass hysteria, folks. All right, and with the engines there, we'll do a light test. Now this, folks, can actually be done in this aircraft. Click each bulb. You'll get your own rhythm, and it actually goes pretty quick. Don't forget these, folks, because believe it or not, they go out too. And when you come across one, it'll say bulb replaced. Here's where some of a good amount reside. Oh yeah, you're seeing there's some pretty interesting ones we can test. This one, most Air Force military firefighters know very well. These light bulbs go out so much on the older aircraft that we had in-flight emergencies all the day because of it. Even though the crew knew it was perfectly safe because that light bulb worked from another appliance, yeah, they still had to roll us out. Welcome to the world of the Air Force, the most safest organization. They haven't figured out the safest way to fly is stay on the ground. Oh wait, then the pilots get bored. Oh my. Again, a lot of tongue-in-cheek there, folks. Good pilots just kind of got to be a little bit of an annoyance when you're constantly ran out for non-emergencies. But the cry wolf syndrome hits not only there but other places as well. Never thought there were this many light bulbs in a plane. I missed some too, I think. If I didn't, well, it won't hurt to hit them again. Never does. 2 checks are better than just none. Final. Oh, I got 2 finals. Okay. And the board lit up. How about that, folks? All the light bulbs work. Give it a round of applause, shall we? All right, well, that didn't work. All right, no biggie. All right. Oh, what a day. All right, so anyway, folks, let's get into it and get this plane airborne. That's what you all are here for. First thing up, let's get the FMC programmed. We are not flying with SEVA. There's a whole, I could go into a 10-minute reason why. And you know what? It's just 10 minutes you won't get back of your life. That really doesn't matter much other than we had a error. Couldn't get the error to ever clear, even uninstall, reinstall. And I got tired of it. So that's why I don't play with them. I think they're phenomenal. If you guys take the time, do it right, they're phenomenal. But realize it adds about 30 to 40 minutes to your pre-flight because you got to align and then put everything in, up to 9 fixes, and then keep updating. So it's good in the fact it keeps you busy, but 2, it is very user intense. So just, be warned. And that is what some people love in this industry. I used to love it, folks. Like I said, that error just really just turned me off from it. And then a little FMC tool came out, usable for all aircraft. Switched over to it, and we had a blast again. All right, so we put in our origin, destination, flight number. Now, because of that, when we cannot do next page, we have to either do this, which I'm glad to do. Dawn, whoop, whoop, whoop. Can't do it that way. Sorry, folks, thinking the wrong way. You know what? Cancel. 5 left. Enter. Dawn 1. IIU. Now, if we go to flight plan, it's going to show a 2 here. Now, let's just say we're going to fly this flight without that. We could have just done 5 left, tell it we're good, and begun. Or you could put in VHP, Victor Hotel Papa. That is the call letters for Brickyard north of the airfield. Granted, we're going south. Sometimes you got to go north to go south, folks. And then we would have been able to go to the next page like we are. So we're at IUU. I'm sorry, IIU. I think there was a song like that, folks. Hang on a second, I just noticed something I needed to do, so I'll be ready. Actually, I guess I have to do it the other way. My bad. Couple extra seconds here, folks. All right, so from the Dawn 1, we're IIU. Okay, so now we're going to go to the Q79. Now, if you don't know how to program this, folks, pay attention. You'll get a quick tutorial. I'm not going to walk you through it step by step, but you're going to get the picture. Okay, so Q79 to THRSR. THR. Where are you? THRSR. SR. Continue. Now, if that was incorrect, folks, it would tell you there's an error. I click execute. Okay, and then we just go to the Q. Well, go now to HONID. HONID. I always like to verify. And that goes on the right side. Now we got another airway. Q81. And by the way, folks, this is how we used to do it before all the fun init requests came out in both Zebo and TOLUS and Flight Factor. Sometimes I thought Airbus was quicker, but then I found some ways Boeing could be quicker, so there really is no easy way to do this. ENDEW. Click, and then Q104. Sounds like a radio station, I know. That's going to Pi. St. Petersburg, Florida. All right, and that is the route right there, folks. Okay, now remember we still have to do an arrival. So we'll go up here, Miami. Now you get to work from over here, and we're coming in on the Palm Z Tulu. Z Tulu. How about the Zulu 2? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Missed it. There it is. Pi. We're going to plan 8 right on finals, but we'll see how it works out. All right, so there's your flight plan, folks. Let's go through it real quick on the legs page. All right, make sure nothing seems kind of really screwy. There's ENDEW, so we'll do Pi. Boom. There we go. Stand by. Okay, coughs. No, we're not going to DHP. But we'll take COPA. No, we're not doing that one. Okay, yeah, we'll just go Copa. At the Copa. Oh, I'm sorry, that way before your guys' time. Little Barry Manilow there. All right, we are ready to rock and roll, folks. There we are, Goofs the Copra, or otherwise known as the Copa. I'm gonna get that stuck on your guys' mind so bad. The Cocabana. And then our missed approach out to Barbara. All right, where we go. Let's hit the flight plan one last time. VNAV next. And cruising at 35,000 feet. Boom. All right. Progress. Top of descent, 793 miles away. We got a 958-mile trip. What do y'all say we light these 3 firecrackers and get ourselves moving that way? All right, I say we do. All right, so the SEVA's done, briefing's done, fuel. Here we go. I've actually done all of this, but we're going to show you real quick. Those of you not familiar with this plane, if you just put your mouse towards the left side of the screen very faintly, and I'm not sure if it's showing up. Let me see. Just barely off screen, so you're not seeing. You got about 5 options. Top one is your performance. Middle one's loading at weight and balance, as you see. Here's the top one. Here's the middle one. Here's the options, which looks like a bunch of gears, a wrench. Go figure, it's maintenance. And then the checklist. Hey, how about that? It even gives you a built-in checklist you can edit. Read the manual. All right, we'll leave the checklist up. We'll leave that one up. Options are set. You got all of these options. I'm going to point you right to this one, THCAS. Okay. You want to, in X-Plane 11, make sure to remove from all 3 aircraft in your aircraft folders the THCAS folders. Reason being, I think you're going to find them in the plugins when you go to the aircraft. Hang on, you know what? I think I have that. If not, I know how to find it real quick. And I can properly tell you. All right, so what you need to do if your aircraft crashes to desktop, it may not do it right away when you're enabled with THCAS. So give it a little bit, but if it starts crashing to desktop, go into your X-Plane folder, look for the aircraft folder, look for each of the FJ727 folders. Okay, there'll be a 100, a 200 advanced, and a freighter. Remove the XTCAS folder from each aircraft, which will be in the plugins folder. So from X-Plane 11, go to aircraft, go to one of the 3 727 folders, open the plugin, remove XTCAS. If you update the aircraft, go back in, do the same thing. They have not fixed it. They claim they have, but it's still crashed to desktop on me. So I tell you, remove them. That's up to you. You can try it out, see what it does. Great aircraft otherwise. That's just the only hiccup I've come across in it. All right, so, but anyway, so you've got all of these. You can go with yokes visible, not visible, weight displays, imperial, or the other way. Weight and balance, you know, you got the whole slew here. I don't even know what weight and balance. That must be the center of gravity thing. Well, I don't know what that is. Huh. I really don't know what this one's for. Notifications, your tablets, whether you see them or not, and rain effects enabled or not. Down at the bottom, folks, important. This is where you enable your GPU, ground power unit, and air cart. Welcome to the old way of flying. Lots of carts to get aircraft started. However, I like throwing this out. What was the first aircraft with an APU? Jet aircraft. Let me go that route, go that much further. And before you start saying a B this, an F that, you're wrong. Well, actually, no, a B this would be right because it was a Boeing 727. You're right, folks. It was in this aircraft. Yes, somebody challenged me with the 707. Yes, the 707-300s did have it. The 727s were out before them. I believe. But anyway, I believe. Anyway, the 727 was the first, which then kind of got rid of the air cart. However, the air cart stayed because first generation APUs, what do you think they did? Just like if you buy a car in the first year that the car is actually on the market, it broke. It breaks a lot. They got to work out the bugs. Well, they have. Today, they're extremely reliable. So long as they're maintained. All right, so that again is where you get to those. Then maintenance. Now you can turn this on and the plane begins to age. As you can see, my airframe has 104 hours. The engines have been maintained a few times, and there's their times and so forth. And the report of if anything was wrong would be here. All right, so let's kind of button some of these things up. All right, so for again today's flight, 85 people. We don't have any cargo. And our zero fuel weight is 100. You know, let's try this all again. The zero fuel weight is 117,150 pounds. Oddly enough, that matches what we have. It took a little bit to get all the numbers to match up, but I finally did. Don't ask me what they are, peoples and all of that. I don't remember. However, I do need to get my fuel level up to 33,559. You can see we're sitting at. So what I'll do, now if you're a good flight engineer, you would know how to manipulate all of these. If you're a FlyJSim flight engineer like me, this one works really good. As you can see the numbers going up. All right, let's take a look at that. 570, let's be say, oh, actually that's above. I'm going to be a good captain and put in a little extra fuel. Look at that. I can already hear physicists going, you can't have 101% in a fuel tank. Well, it says I do. There's a lot of things airplanes do that I think some physics people have no idea you can. All right, and then for our performance, okay, it's got all of that. Let's just make sure. Yep, nothing changed. So V1's going to be 122, rotate at 122, and V2, 134. Critical speed here of 122. We got to make sure nothing looks like we can't fly. We abort. Okay, that's the whole concept behind V1. Anything above, you go to flight. Anything below, pop reversers, whatever, hit the brakes, put your feet through the floorboard, whatever it takes to get the plane stopped. That's a pretty long reach for feet, by the way, if you do go through the floorboard with them to the ground. We're going to be flaps 20, stab trim 5.29, easy thing here with the stab trim, and then our dump fuel time 2 minutes, 14 seconds. All right, so we're all set to go. And we're going to go ahead and close this one because I've got a pretty good one right here. All right, so let's do it. Passenger signs, let's get them on. Window heat's coming on. All right, hydraulic pumps. This is where I kind of don't like this one checklist. It's really good, folks. It really bounces you all over the place. And I'm one that likes to just stick to it, make sure everything is set. Our final tests down the middle. Okay. CVR looks good. Okay, and go to on out. Okay, window heat, anti-ice will not be on for now. Probe heats will stay off. Lights. I want my nav lights on and my logo lights on while we're in the stand. Coming down here to the middle. Again, we're just looking at it. Everything's set right. Altimeter was 2992, I believe. No click spots here, folks, to cheat your way to setting this one. And of course, don't forget your standby. All right, and everything's ready to go. Radar paddle, put her up, tilt up to 5. All right, and we've got our spoilers down, flaps up. Let's double check. Flaps showing up and up. All right, frequencies. All right, folks, you know if we come on FJS, which is my game plan today, we're going to go on CTAF. To find that, here, let's bring in Sim Toolkit so I can show this. Hopefully by now most of you know this, but you know, there's probably some, what is CTAF? Common Traffic Area Advisory Frequency. Sorry. I'm trying to think. We get the letters in front of it. Let's see here. All right, things still looking pretty decent. All right, so we want to go to Sky Vector down here. This, by the way, you can enable real quick. Okay, we're going to zoom in on Indy. Let's go to St. Louis. That'll work. All right, so we're looking for where the Indianapolis information is for the airport. Follow the dotted line, not the yellow brick road, but the blue dotted line. Okay, look for CT. Now, if you're not at an airport with control towers, say for instance this one, Indy South Greenwood, okay? The common frequency for here is where the C is, so 123.0. The common frequency here at good old Indianapolis International Airport, right here, 120.9. Hope that helps you in figuring out what the heck am I supposed to be on. And now I forgot. 120.9. Miami may or may not be different. We'll see. This I have is just a fun frequency. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and so we're set with frequencies. Let's get our frequencies put in for the flight. And for that, I'm going to bring charts in. Makes it a little easier to explain before we do. Oh, Maybe I might want to make it a little bigger. All right, so we're doing the Dawn 1. We know that. Oop, I clicked it. Sorry, folks. Okay, Dawn 1 is a standard departure. It's not an RNAV. So that means we can put frequencies in, fly the routes to them, join them, and it'll put us on the route. You'll see what I mean here. So it's also available for a lot of airports. Indianapolis, Eagle Creek, Indianapolis Metro, and so forth. All of these fall under this. You could get this departure going south. Okay, so here's what we do. First off, here's your initial climb. We'll be on the 5s. So we'll go 050 to distance 3. And then we'll continue on in vector to Sneva. Then Foyt, then Dawn, then Louisville. All right, so we fly off on our initial 050 to the IOQV 3, and then we continue on till we're vectored to Sneva. Well, they'll probably vector us to intercept the 174 radial off of Brickyard. Brickyard is 116.3. So we'll dial in 116.3, 174, and when we hit it, we'll fly it at distance 27.5 is Sneva, continuing 46.5 is Foyt with a check off Hoosier on the 113. So when we pass the 113, we just hit Foyt. So long as we're on the 174 radial off of Brickyard. And then 75 miles will be Dawn with a check and or intercept of the inbound 311 or outbound 311 radial, inbound 131 to Louisville, which is 41 miles away. All right, so this can all be done right on your radios. You don't have to pre-program all of this in there, even though it is. It's pretty cool. So we'll go ahead, get rid of charts, and follow suit. All right, so I need 116.3. How about we put that here? Okay, put that primary for now. Now I'm going to do something kind of funky here. Because this airplane's a little weird, and I don't know if this is how it was in the real life or not. I can't believe it would be. But folks, aviation, you're going to find some really weird concepts put into planes. Why on 2 radios? Don't know. All right, you see this one here? That's your DME. 2. So you got a nice big number in front of you off your number 2 radio, which should be your number 1 radio. Well, that's because the number 1 would be right there. But kind of weird, isn't it? Wait a minute. DME 1 comes up over here when it should be DME 2, and the same thing, 2 would be here, and so forth. Yeah, really weird stuff sometimes. Like I said, aviation is known for this. Now, I could click it over as well, and we'll put 110.2. So there's Hoosier. Remember that? All right, and then we're going to come back up here, put in OQV, which is 11. Actually, you know what? We might just take off on the right side. All right, so there we go, folks. Oh, we need to set our headings to 050. Okay, and bear with me a second. I'm going to set 174 over here. All right, so we are set up, and our initial climb on this one signed by ATC. Okay, cool. So for now, 35,000. There you go, folks. We are all set with our radios. Parking brake is set, aileron, rudder trigger centered, and we are ready to go. Last thing I want to do is a GPS check. You've heard these before.
Glide slow. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Up. Airspeed low. Sink rate. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Don't sink. Don't sink. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Gear. Too low. Flaps. Too low. Terrain. Glide slow. Bank angle. Bank angle. 100. 50. 30. 20. 10. 500.
All right, I think it's done, folks. Just getting online here so we can... All right, we just got our squawk code 2605. Yeah, folks, it's in a weird spot. All right. Here we go. Okay, and okay, radios, THRSR, fuel, flight guard. We are ready for engine start, folks. How about that? Little slower. I got a little delayed in getting fired up here. We've had our 3-year or almost 3-year-old granddaughter here, plus our 1-week-old granddaughter here in the house. So it was a little crazy this morning, but we are ready to go. So let's pop ourselves out of here. Let's get the APU first going. And you can see it's starting to come alive. Downwind Sim, good morning to you, sir. Come aboard. Fun with the grandkids, yeah, it is good mental health, it is. It helps. Little stressful at times, but nothing like what goes on in life. Outside the house and the grandkids. Just waiting on the APU here, and we'll be ready to go. I run into a lot of troubles where it loves to break on me, so hopefully we can get things going here. Okay, we are at the point where it should fall off or continue up. All right, let's do it. Generator on. Helps be on the right panel, Mike. All right, clear off the jet bridge. And that shift function 1 key, folks, for the air stair in the back. The DB Cooper exit. All right, we are clear for engine start. All right, we're on ACARS. Here we go. Number a tree. All right, we got our EGT above the green. We're just about above the green here. There goes the light out. Now you could switch the generator on, but we're gonna try and do all 3 here. Now we'll go to number 1. Light on. Again, watch for 20% N2 on number 1, and then we'll introduce fuel. Currently in the cutoff position, go idle. I do like this because when you click them, they move up. You don't have to fight them sometimes. I don't think in the real world you fight the switches. You might. Who knows? Again, aviation is known to be weird. All right, let's get number 2, the final engine. I already got it going. How about that? I just learned something on the plane, folks. There's 20 and there's idle. And I'll tell you about it in just a second. Now, good news out there, folks. There is a lot of talk that here soon. When soon is, we all know, if you've been waiting on the 777, the word soon, it's got an interesting connotation to it. That version 3, will it be? Version 4 of the 727 from FlyJSim will be available for X-Plane 12 soon. Don't know the definition of the word soon from them, but soon. That's exactly right, Downwind. All right, so we got the engines on. Let me bring on the power to them, so in case we lose the generator over there. All right, what did I learn? Well, if you noticed, when I did 2, the cover was still down, but I clicked here, it came on. Normally, I thought you had to pop the covers off them, but I guess maybe not. We'll try it again another day, see what happens. Let's get over here, finish up our panel. Okay, so we're good here. Bring on a galley power and a pack. Do another pack. And the final galley power. I'm going to go ahead and shut us down. And we'll get the APU as well. But yeah, soon it will be out. Now, I know some people say you can fly it in X-Plane 12. I guess there's some data ref issues. I haven't tried. I kind of like it as much error-free as possible. Realized I missed something here, so we'll get to the final after engine start here. All right, there we go. All right, okay, rotating beacon. Galley powers are back on, air conditioning packs are, oh, that's for engine start. Okay, ignition's on, pitot heat on. All right, flight instrument set, flight controls we'll check here in a second. Door lights are out, ground equipment clear, anti-ice good. We checked our yaw dampers. That's actually right in here. Or wait, or is it down here? Well, here it is. Okay, and we need to get our hydraulics set up on and on. And folks, if you forget this, you're going to find it real quick when you do your flight control check. Flaps, flight controls, speed brakes, and stabilizer. Okay. Reason being, a couple things. One, you would see lights here if you don't have the hydraulics on. If they're on, go turn them off. And then when you start doing your rudder, see how you have two marks here, one down, one up? Well, if you only have one rudder, one of those will, or one hydraulic system, only one will work. And this is the bad thing, it does not have an aileron control. All right, double check something here. I noticed on approach. No, it does have ailerons. No, it doesn't. Huh. That may be the explanation I've been looking for right there. You got light showers there in Edwardsville. We've had light on and off rain. I don't know if it's raining right now. So, yeah, downwind, it's been off and on here. Kind of like it has been for the last couple of days. All right, let's set flaps. We don't want to get into the SEVA discussion again, I don't think. I don't run with SEVAs because of an issue way back when. I know way back when means way back when, but I prefer the FMCs. I like the old school, do not get me wrong, I loved flying with SEVA. That error just really put me off. I couldn't fix it. Even an uninstall, reinstall. This is back in the early 2000, maybe 2010 time frame. and it just skewed me so much I didn't want to even ever touch them again. So that's why you don't see them on. Okay, 20, and speed brakes are up. Okay, now we do need to touch the trim. The trim here is simple. Click the green and it slides in for you. Otherwise, you could set it to 5.29. That ain't the easiest to try to figure out here, folks. So it's nice, all we got to do is click the green button. And we're ready to power back. Okay, everything's set here. Still on ground. AP back on max. All right, we're ready for pushback. Oh, it's doing this to me again. Hang on a second. Why is it not showing on my headset? What did I do last time? Settings. Oh, I can't remember, but it's on my speakers, so hopefully this won't be too bad. And again, folks, remember, it's up top here. Why won't it play nice? Oh well. And just so you all get an idea of what I'm talking about, because it is a little annoyance, hopefully it won't be in the stream. You look up here at my X Pilot in the upper left corner, I'm on speaker instead of my headset. Clicking settings isn't helping. Huh. All right, let me also double check before we even get into it. Keyboard, X Pilot. Okay, so it is there. All right, here we go. Screwed around enough here on the ground. Okay, brakes are set. Let's do our final checks. And okay, taxi check. Yaw dampers were checked. Flight controls were checked. Flaps are green. And at 20, speed brakes, flap warning off, and stabilizer set. Galley power's on. Electrical set, fuel set, and hydraulics are looking good. AC's good. Auto pack will get at the runway. APU is shut down. Let's double check. APU off. We're ready to taxi. Oh boy. Indianapolis traffic, Clipper 557, taxi 5 left. Well, hopefully everything's working like it should be here. It should be on my headset, and it's not showing that. You always gotta love fuel trucks that think, well, they own the road. In most cases, they do. Alright, we'll taxi down, we'll do our final checks, and we're out of here, folks. Alright, auto pack. And finally, cabin doors are locked, shoulder harness, takeoff data, and brief complete. We are ready to go once we get down here. Again, folks, hope y'all are enjoying it. This hump day in Indianapolis, 2 days after totality in the eclipse. I was working that day, folks. It wasn't a full totality here in the St. Louis area, but it was pretty cool out at the airport. So, of course, I looked at it straight at with my eyes. Just because I see 5 taxiways in front of me doesn't mean I got any eye damage. And you all just saw what my eyes saw, that big bright light. No, I'm just teasing. Yeah, I did, though, look at it several times. Looked like just a Pac-Man when you looked at it. And I could hear all the eyes, you're not supposed to do that. So, kids in the audience, please don't follow Flying with Mike on that. What spots? Yeah. They're fun because people see me doing this, grabbing spots and trying to figure out what is he doing. It's a new game, like Pokemon. We all thought you all were weird going with your cell phones trying to find all these things. And what were you looking for? Imaginary Pokemons. Curious how many of you remember that craze, because that's most of your generations out here. Okay, we're cleared number 1 for takeoff. Let's get some binders in. All right, anti-skid transponder is on. TCAS we don't have. Collision lights will come on the runway, and we've got our CS oil cooler in armed, or ground, and our auto pack armed. Indianapolis traffic, Clipper 557 departing 5 left. All right, folks. Again, using common traffic, and if there's a center, we'll be on them when we get up. But for now, sit back, relax, enjoy the 727 departure. Okay, before we release brakes, hang on a second here, folks. I want to call your attention here. Now, if you go to the checklist over here, bring it up to cleared for takeoff. You got your checks here after takeoff here. Here's important notes. Takeoff, 97% N1. That's right here. I'm sorry, right here. That's EPR. Okay. Climb, 92%. Flaps up by 200 and so forth. Use this. Keep it handy your first few flights. It will really help. So let's go on up. Here we go. Lights on. Reject takeoff. And if you're curious, 97 on the N1 is just before the yellow. Now make sure you pull it back, because it aged on your engine could bring an engine fire on. We've had them a couple times on stream.
B1, rotate.
Positive rate, gear up. Gears up, lever down. About 400 feet, folks, you can nose over and start your climb. Remember 0.3 or 3 miles, and we can, whoa, I forgot we were going into the clouds. Get on the autopilot here. And we're going to go ahead and go into our climb, where we reduce the climb power, 92%, folks. Watch your airspeed. Okay. And get our speed set here to 240. Go into indicated airspeed climb. Set up for 174. Okay, and we are now climbing, and we're actually out of the clouds. Back a little on N1 there just to be safe so I don't overpower the engines, causing an engine fire. All right, folks, we're climbing out. And we are looking to join the arrival. We're just about there. I'm sorry, the departure. We were arriving, we had a problem. Yes. Okay, the infamous 10,000 feet. Lights off. Back down here. Let's go to vertical speed, lower the nose again. Speed up to 2. And let's get her set up to intercept here. Doing basically the same thing, allowing it to speed up to our preset level here. And all we're going to do is switch it back to IAS hold. And now the pitch holds it. There you go, folks. You're now in your climb. We're not fully on our track yet. We're getting very close. Altitude select. Always make sure that's on when you're changing altitudes. And we're climbing. We're going to go ahead and let it switch now over to the GPS, which would be how you do see. Okay, so once you get on, now once you're at your, watch this to make sure we're not going really wacky. We are. Anyway, once you got to your first fix that you put in there, folks, or approaching it, you could switch it into, I believe it'll be GPS here, but down here on the autopilot, go to aux nav, which in that case is SIVA. And away you go. and we're about to cross Siva as we speak. There you have it, folks. We're out of Indianapolis. We're Miami bound and looking at about 2.5 hours till there, folks. I hope you enjoy. Hope you've had a great time here in Indy like I did. Love to have you stick around for the whole flight. I get it. 2.5 hours is kind of rough. But we'd love for you to. Otherwise, just do that exclamation mark lurk. Turn the sound down if you need to on us, but you know, stay there, be a, you know, help support us. We'd sure love it. Also, if you'd hit that follow button if you're new, love to have you around, see where we're headed next. Those of you here on Twitch, just drop down, hit about, you'll see the flight schedule. We do have a flight scheduled for Friday. Hopefully we'll be able to fly it. It's the destination of the month for Millennium Aviation. But for now, we have, and we'll start watching that clock. It will start coming down pretty decently. We should be down under 2 hours by the time we get up to around 30,000. So, and that's just because the way the winds are. But folks, enjoy, sit back, relax. We hope you enjoy the ride. 2 hours ahead of us to get down to Miami. Okay, after takeoff, no smoking, landing gears up, flaps up. Get our, sure our packs are on. I think I didn't turn them off. Okay, cut out, fuel, pressurization set, and panel lights, everything's off, right? Yep. Go ahead and turn the lights off. Away we go, folks. Alright folks, so we continue our climb out. And we're right now through 25,000. If you look up top, we started at 2.5 hours from about 10,000 feet. We're now under an hour and 59 minutes. And might drop a little more in the next 10,000 or 15,000. So, well, we only have 10,000 to top and climb. But, so you can kind of see as we're getting up, winds, the air is getting a little thinner and all, and we're able to do a lot more with the power behind us at the same settings. So it's kind of neat to watch sometimes. Anyway, like I said, but again, you got to realize we got to come back down, which means our times will build a little. So that's why I say plan on about 2 hours. We'll be down there. So hope y'all are enjoying. I hope y'all enjoyed that departure out of there. That wasn't. Pet, what's up here, pet? Hawker 125 is in the house. So, hope your day's going well there, Mr. Hawker. I try to keep my eye on it there, Duke. So, anyway, yeah, I know. I get fixated, folks. I will be totally honest. I know I should put that tone in my ears so I know when someone chats. But I also like to be focused on what I'm doing so I can get to you. Because like I said, look, we went right into the clouds there again. And I'm not wanting the plane to get all squirrely like it did out of Boston. Yesterday was 25 minutes. Had to pull that sound alert. Yeah, I know. I ought to put it in. I know. So, but again, hope work's going well for you there, Hawk, and hope life is well. We're back at the grindstone tomorrow. Back into quarry. Waiting for the Flintstone bird to scream saying shift's over. All right, let's look at something. Okay, just wanted to make sure they were working. Did I keep you, by the way, 25 minutes too long away from work yesterday is what you're trying to say? I'll call your boss and say you are complaining. You needed 25 minutes more work. I believe I can get a hold of him still at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Had to get you there, Hawk. All right, so we're getting up to our next thing. Again, let me show you this. All right, so we've done the climb. Went into climb power at 92%, around 3,000 feet. We had our flaps up about 210, 220. At 10,000, we went up to 280. At about flight level 290, which is where we're at, we're looking to go to Mach 0.78. We're still not fully on it. So I kind of allow the plane to get to it before I'll switch into Mach hold. Once we reach 0.78, then I'll put it on Mach hold. So I wanted to show how that works over here. Critical though, right here I found if you don't pull those engines back and they've got some wear and tear on them, well, they're going to have a lot of wear and tear on them. They're going to catch fire on you, as we've done it twice. Successful emergency landings, but still, nonetheless, they caught fire on us. All right, so now you can see the airspeeds there. Mach hold is just one more click to the left. And now, instead of the indicated airspeed, which is what's the 200 and then the inside, now it's the outside, that 0.78, right where the caret's at here. Right there is what it'll hold until we level off, and then that is the rudimentary auto throttle of a 727. I'm going to go ahead and set our flight director to nav hold, and we should be pretty good. Okay, everything, we'll go ahead and disarm our auto brakes. Wing lights are off, everything looks good. All right, and we are now over Louisville, one of the most debated ways to pronounce a city. Is it Louisville, Louisville, Louisville? Many ask, but no one ever says what is the correct pronunciation. Heck, you could talk to... Oh, I'm moving the wrong item. My bad, my bad. You could talk to 10 different people in that town, and they'll get 10 different pronunciations. Whoever came up with that one was great. All right, so onward and upward. All right, folks, got about 2,000, yeah, roughly 2,000 to go to top a climb. And then it's just a flat out speed run to Miami. I'm going to get us leveled off here, get us set to about 0.85 Mach. You're going to have to set it, folks, on your throttle. You will not, there is no auto throttle in that sense on this plane. So you have to set it. I'm not sure when or if that ever came to it. Get an idea of that crosswind we're battling up here. Aircraft's crabbing pretty hard, folks. We'll get a look at the wind here in a second. Pat Insuik.
In a
Welcome.
668 just
Thank you, sir, for the 100
GR.
biddies. We sure appreciate
Better
it.
late than never.
Thank you, sir, so much. We appreciate you so much for those biddies. And I hope you're having a great day as we do a Throwback Tuesday. Everyone loves a good throwback, according to, is it Geico? I forget the commercial that does that here. Yes, sir. Looking forward to putting this in the X-Plane 12 hangar. Much looking forward to it. All right, we got 500 feet to top a climb. So once we hit the needle at 0.80 right here, folks, I'll throttle back. There is no auto throttle. Again, it's all by the throttles. The flight engineer might be the one manipulating them to get the best performance out of his engines. He's got all the gauges more than they have, so he can kind of get them set right where he needs them and monitor them better too. Used to actually have the throttles with the props on his station, but with the jet age they moved them kind of forward. All right, here comes level off. By the way, we are folks, we're now 1 hour, 30 minutes out. Remember, we were at 25,000 feet at 1 hour, 59 minutes out. Always fun. Yeah, the DC-10 was fun. I remember that with CLS. And there was there another one that did that? And oh, you like the 300 and the Beluga. Ooh, yeah. Let's throw it back even further. I'll take the Guppy over the Beluga. But the Beluga is neat, don't get me wrong. That's a neat plane. I love how they built hangars now for it. Or at least that's the inbuild's thought. Adjusting power settings here, folks. Yeah, I haven't gotten the A300. It's been one of those I've thought about. I just can't, I don't know what's holding me back from pulling the trigger on that one. But I really have thought about that a lot, the A300. All right, which you can see the needle is pegged on 0.80, 35,000 feet. Oh, we're at 290. I moved that around accidentally and ended up getting it set wrong. I'll have to look into that. I think I've seen this Primus mod from Honeywell. Like I said, I have been very tempted. Getting a little slow. Let me bump some go-go juice into these engines. I'd have to do that. Back it down just a tad. Oh, came off where I wanted it. Try. It's right on that hump where I can't get it to play nice with my throttles. What's that, the Honeywell Primus mod? Because I know they have the A300 for X-Plane 12. And I think it just got updated, come to think of it. Because, you know, they're so worried about that other sim. Yeah, that I don't know on the mod, but the A300 is available from Int'l in I just, like I said, I keep seeing it, keep thinking about it, and I keep thinking about it. Hang on a second, folks. All right, CEO giving me marching orders here. She has a meeting, and lo and behold, the little grandkid was right behind me. I didn't even know it. The 1 week old. Yeah, I know a bunch of X-Plane folks there have been really upset with Int'ls and their jumping boats in their eyes to the other side and not keeping things up to date on X-Plane. But, you know, they're a company, they can do as they want. And maybe that has had some things in why I haven't jumped onto the bandwagon. I would love to fly the A330, I mean 300. But I guess one day I'm just going to have to all in on it, give it a shot. I know I'll like it. All right, folks, let's see where we are here. Well, we still have Sky Vector. That's thing. Although you can get an idea, we're about in here, folks. Oh no, we're down in here. We're about to go over some storms here. Let's get rid of Sky Vector so you can kind of see what we're doing right here. just this guy who's at not far above us, pushing on down towards Miami. Big storms. Well, there's a lot of flooding in this big block. So in Texas, a lot of prayers going out for those folks in Texas. They, year after year here lately, have just been inundated with rain. So California gets inundated with snow and rain, but then they go drought. Oh, the life, you know, how things are lately. That was the weirdest thing I've ever come across. My sound mixer kind of disconnected. That's weird. I've never had that happen. So that's why we weren't able to control those sounds. Still fast. See how 180 does on the EP. Here's what I basically do to set my power. It doesn't seem to be doing much, so let's bring it down to 70. Yes, we did, sir. We got to experience it almost totality here in St. Louis. I was outside at work. It's not the way I remembered it in 2017 with that one. But it was, don't get me wrong, nonetheless, it was cool. It was just a little different. It's hard to explain the difference, but it was cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. We saw, you know, the Earth, you know, our area got shaded over by the moon. All of that fun stuff. You looked up at it, you got blinded like I did, without the goggles on. You know, you had to pay your $10.99 to get your solar glasses to be able to watch it. Just kidding, folks. But you know, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. It's always fun to watch other people and how they race to see it. Just kind of always fun. People watch that. But it was neat to watch the terminal go, you know, from day to night, you know, watch the parking lots come on, lights come on, terminal lights inside come on, then 5 minutes later, reverse it. It was. I didn't really look at it when it was total through the glasses. I just kind of like experiencing what's it doing to nature. One guy said 2017's, because we had another one only like 5, 6 years ago, said it was funny because the roosters started to crow. Some said owls down in southern Illinois were beginning to hoot because it was getting dark. So it's just kind of fun to watch that kind of side to it, how nature takes to an anomaly like a eclipse and stuff like that. But that would be fun hearing roosters crow. Hey, it's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon. What's going on? So, but it was great. I hope you got to see some of it in your area. We kind of joke and kid. We had a flight that came in from Vegas just as the event was really starting to get going. Pushed back, got to the end of the runway, came back to the terminal claiming a mechanical. I think they wanted to see the eclipse on the ground. That's the running joke at the airport. There probably was a mechanical. Don't get me, I'm just having some fun with it. But I think it would have been better in the air. But that's just me. So, but anyway, I would like to hear from people. Supposedly, there was a flight here in the United States. Delta scheduled it. As I understand the story, it could be all, make-believe for all I know. Yeah, there was a convenient fault error. But no, his thing was Delta scheduled this flight from Austin, Texas to Detroit International, and at the time of the eclipse. Now, of course, I joked and said, well, the flight's going to get delayed. The eclipse delayed. Just me. No, but those people would have flown a pretty good chunk of their flight in totality. That was the goal. I would love to know how that worked out. If, put that in big air quotes, if it even was a real flight. But I know there was supposed to have been 5 scheduled airline flights going on during totality. So, and I haven't seen a single picture on Facebook to prove that. So, but it was really cool. If you ever get the chance, folks, and you got a good weather day for watching an eclipse, I highly recommend. It's the 3rd one I've seen. Saw one when I was like 6th grade, 7th grade, something like that in Charleston, South Carolina, and then 2 here. So, highly recommend them. I mean, go to them, because I think the next one's like 30, 40 years here, maybe much longer than that. So, but they'll be elsewhere in the world. So, oh, yeah, there you go. Because that plane would be pretty much, well, it'd be faster than the Earth's rotation. So that would be. I never thought about the Concorde and flying back in the day with that, because that would have been cool. That would have been worth the $6,000 round trip. Probably $12,000 for that flight. But it was cool. I looked at it a couple times through those space age glasses that look like 3D glasses when you go to a 3D movie. So, it was pretty cool, don't get me wrong. She could be. I would say no, my 747 still beats it. Because it's what actually put it out of business, besides a crash. Because it's very hard to I mean, what a technological marvel that aircraft was. But it's very hard to get people, well, to pay for it when you can only put 120 people on it. And you got so much gas, plus you're getting there in half the time, if not time machine style, where you take off. When you land, you took off, your time on your watch is earlier than the time you took off. So you can help that to bump it up. But, you only put 120 on versus 4. The price is really tough. What a marvel that plane was. Hopefully, this hypersonic aircraft coming will overcome some of that. Right now, it's not looking like it. We'll see. Early days. So if they can get it to hold more people, that helps drive the cost down big time. So more people get on it than just a certain class. Because I'm here to tell you, I could never afford the price ticket for one way, let alone round trip on the Concorde. And that's where the shame is. And the other thing, if other countries would come in, including this one, and drop the sonic boom laws that are in place. That also helped her, because that plane was supposed to ultimately end up in Dallas, Fort Worth nonstop. But the sonic boom laws prevented that. Yeah, 3 and 3 would be good. That would help. That gives you another, what they have, 30 rows. So that would pick up, another 30 seats. Actually, I think I'm off. So I think it only held 120 people. Anyway, I don't know. I'd have to go back in, dig it up, and look at all the fun technical specs on it. But it was cool. And the numerous flights I flew with it with British Virtual Airlines, interesting to fly on the FlyJSim. I can't even imagine up in the cockpit. All right, let me take a look where we are here. I'm going to do this. We're coming up to THRSR here shortly. And what does our flight plan entail? Okay, HONID. THRSR, we go to 36,000 for a very brief moment, then back down to 35. I think if ATC comes on, we'll try to stay at 35. And again, folks, if you do purchase this for X-Plane 11, just make sure if it does crash to desktop, it's a known issue with this plane, and where it lies is in the THRSR. So it's recommended you go into X-Plane 11 for the aircraft folder. Now, you're going to have to do this for each of the aircraft. There's 3 of them. go in to the plugins folder in each of those three, look for the XTCAS folder, remove it, and then you should be crashed to desktop free, unless there's other issues with your system. But that's the big problem that this aircraft had. Even when you update it, go back, remove the folder, because it will still crash to desktop. At least it did for me, so I removed them, and we don't have that problem. Also, make sure, I just realized I have the hypoxic effects turned off, but if you don't and you start blacking out on the plane because you didn't close your cooling doors. Now, I've heard this system doesn't work. Then why do people get, you know, the screen goes black? Because you're hypoxic. So, those are some of the neat little nuances with this plane. And these classic aircraft. You have these where you gotta balance it, or in this case, it'll either freeze or overheat. In our case, it was doing pretty good. Or at least it appeared so. And make sure you're on flight. So, those little things there, folks, help. And of course, nowadays, animals flying in the cargo bin is like animals flying in the passenger area. Make sure you turn the heat on in the cargo bays, because you never know if you got animals down there. You should know. You never know. Alright, we're down to just over an hour to Miami, folks, so I hope you've enjoyed this run, leaving the city where they did experience totality in the eclipse, Indianapolis, and we're headed down to Miami. Probably didn't see much of it at all. So, but anyway, that was a couple days ago. The cool thing with Facebook is being able to see some of the pictures from out the world, like in Mexico, Canada, along the edges or middle of totality. It's kind of neat seeing all the pictures. So, take a look. There are a bunch out there. NASA's got, of course, you'd expect a whole bunch of robots. All right, but we are on our Clipper action flight, Throwback Tuesday. We're pulling it back. Not only flying X-Plane 11, not only flying a 727, but we're flying for an airline long since gone, Pan Am. And it's been a couple of reboots attempted, and for the most part, don't go much. I think there's one still going, charter in the Caribbean, but it's nothing like the glory days of Pan Am. I've kind of hinted with the guy that runs the group, if Pan Am, TWA could have buried the hatchet, and not in each other, like they always did, but just buried it between them, I wonder, and they came together, what if they would still be here today? So those are some of the big, iconic airlines of the days before deregulation. Deregulation is what really killed them. Just took 10 years. Oh, we got an Allegiant plane flying underneath us. Is he off to? Let's find out. To Rockford. flew out of there a few weeks ago with the MD-11. Check that out on YouTube. Well, Pan Am was an international airline. Flat out, they really did not have a domestic base, where TWA had a domestic base, and they were also international. Then they also bought Ozark to solidify it. If you would have brought those two together, I think they'd have kept TWA out of bankruptcy and out of the hands of American. Pan Am would have had that domestic base they so desperately needed. They founded in National Airlines, but National Airlines was so crippled as well that they both just couldn't survive, and we lost. I'd like to know, I would like to think the two would, well, the two would be here as one, but I'd like to think they'd be here still. You know, woulda, coulda, shoulda, you never know. But they were very vicious at each other, and to even think them two together as an airline, whew, that would have been rough. I don't even think they could have buried the hatchet between who gets the name. Oh, that was vicious, folks. A lot of bad blood between those two. So, but again, if those two could have came together, I think they could have found their way. It might even, who knows, still be here today. But, you know, there's a lot of ifs in that. But those were two very big airlines back in the 60s and 70s that just would not play nice together. But on that note, you can see up there in the upper left-hand corner, I have an icon up there called Pan Am Virtual. Hey folks, that's who I'm flying for today. It's a newer airline out there. They do. Here's the funny part. They are geared around Pan Am and TWA. So they work nicely here together. But yeah, Pan Am doing what Pan Am did. We're right now flying from their schedules from 1985. And that day they had Indianapolis to Miami. They had several. Their domestic routes were beginning to expand. Don't get me wrong, folks. Even though insurance covered a lot, Lockerbie also had a lot to do with hurting Pan Am badly. So, just, you know, that didn't help. Tenerife back in the 70s also. You know, granted, insurance was taking care of all of that, but it's still, you know, it still has tentacles that go out to help make the airline not so attractive. TWA Flight 800 was one to hurt TWA. But anyway, so Pan Am Virtuals out there, they fly the iconic Pan Am aircraft. The 707. Now, granted, there is no 707-300 version out there for X-Plane. I do keep hearing rumors and innuendos. There could be one coming, but rumors and innuendos, usually, you know where those end up. So they have those. They actually have some routes geared for the 707 days. Plus the 747. They have offset some of the aircraft we can't find, like the DC-10 with the MD-11, which I think you could almost put a DC-10 inside. No, just kidding. How big that plane is. And of course, they're iconic 747s. So they're all clippers. There could, if ever, and I thought I've heard or seen a Boeing Clipper what was that, 377, the flying boats? I think they might have released one. But anyway, if not, if ever one comes, there'll be routes to use them. So, but anyway, great airline to fly for, folks. Great technology. I happen to be the operations manager for the Pan Am side of the house. So, you know, check them out. Here's a link. Helps if I learn how to type. Sorry. I won't do it either. So check them out, folks. A really good airline, really solid. And I hope y'all give us a look. You know, the other little hidden gem in there, again, besides TWA. TWA, you're going to find a modern TWA. So imagine the 737-800. Never flew for TWA. But imagine that in there, the A320. Now, they did have 767s and 757s. So those aircraft become available, a more modern fleet, improved fleet for TWA. Pan Am has been kept to what Pan Am was. The downside, unfortunately, at JFK, most sceneries at JFK have gotten rid of the world. So you don't have that iconic Pan Am terminal. You get the TWA one partially, but not Pan Am. So anyway, check them out, folks. It's at www.crew.paavirtual.com. Love to have you aboard. Like I said, I am the operational manager at Pan Am there, putting a lot of flights in for them. Just finished up the European hub. I think I got them all. Double check them. Getting ready to finalize the domestic routes in the U.S., Caribbean, and South America, and then what they were known for, the Far East. So, again, crew.paavirtual.com. All right, we are at that point, folks, where we should take a step climb to 36,000 feet, only at HONID to drop right back down, which is 60 miles ahead of us. So we'll stay at 35 and explain ourselves if ATC comes in. For now, I'm going to take a short break, be right back, and use the restroom and get some coffee. Be right back. All right, folks, we're back with you. Just had to do a quick restroom break. Insuik, you have a great night. Thank you. Thank you for being a part and the biddies that you uh, uh, brought to the stream. We sure appreciate you. All right, folks. Winds are kind of shifty here. Let me take a look. No, they're still kind of showing 120 in Miami. But again, welcome in, folks. Indianapolis to Miami. Clipper Flight 577, 1985 schedule. Also, folks, looking through the chat here, a couple things. Oh, not leaving, though. Oh, okay. All right, misread that. Sorry. Just kind of poked my head through the chat while I was away. Folks, if you do miss something during the commercial breaks, hey, we are going to upload this to YouTube. They might wait till the weekend to let it release. I don't haven't decided the release date yet for it, but we'll get it up to YouTube as soon as possible. Yesterday's flight is up there right now. I don't want to oversaturate YouTube with content. But the link is there. If you missed it, I'll go ahead and shoot it out there again. That's right. I got to do it this way. Hang on a second. It tight there. That's fine. I can always adjust. There we go. So there you have it, folks. Also, you know, if you would rather not see the ads, you could always subscribe. Otherwise, the big thing we push here is following the channel. We really would love for you all to follow, especially the new folks to come aboard. But if you want to see it ad-free, you would then go to the next level up and subscribe. So, but that's up to you folks. I don't push that very hard, if at all. Most of the time I push following. So, and that just cost you the low price of an email that you know we went live. So, all right, so we are on our way, and again, this is X-Plane 11. So when the clouds look kind of flattish like they do here, that's why. However, it's a pretty good look there. X-Plane 12, this would be, as Austin plugged it when he first started X-Plane 12, volumetric. A lot of volume in the clouds. A lot more realistic in appearance. Here, they're just kind of, I'm not going to say flat, because you obviously have some vertical inputs here on the clouds off to our left, but you get the picture. It's more of a kind of a flat-like looking atmosphere instead of what it, you know, looks like. But again, hopefully, as we've said, as we've kind of made fun of a little bit the word soon, those of you waiting on the 777 from Flight Factor, it's coming soon. They've been saying that, I don't know, I think 6X Plane 12 started, I don't know. But hey, again, they're trying to get the best product out there they can. So the word soon is kind of subjective. Soon, should see the there it is again, or did I back up here? Hang on, there's downwind sim again. Soon deal. But yeah, soon we should see the 727. I don't know what all they've got planned for it. I have heard there will be little extra cost for those of us that own the X-Plane 11 version, so we'll see how that comes. So hopefully that means maybe we'll have some interiors and other things to go with it. We'll see. You know, who knows? They're kind of tight-lipped, or at least what I've been able to find. So, real soon now. You know, for all we know, folks, when X-Plane 13 comes out, B727 and 777 will release an X-Plane 12. So, just kidding. Oh. I mean, I know that's how Downwind Sim does his stuff. And soon, it'll be out. All right, folks. So we have crossed. It's trademarked. You know, that's kind of like trademarking the word "the." Well, I guess they did now with Ohio State. But anyway, the Ohio State. Oh my. All right, so where are we here? Somewhere between lost and found, last I checked. All right, so we're coming up to Ipoke. Bullseye, Snappy, and Nikki are our next fixes. Let's kind of take a look here. Press showing about 270 miles out. I don't know if that's going to be accurate. Did all right, let's take a look here. See if I need to do any adjustments. Palms to all right, charts. Let's see. All right, so we come in at Pi, Sarasota. See, I'm not seeing any altitude restrictions, so theoretically, the only one we would have to contend with is currently 8 right. That's a 3,000 foot set. So, right now that should be fine. Back here real quick. Oh, so we do have to then finals. Get to Dolphin, then finals. Okay. Well, that ain't gonna work. Especially on the 8s and 1-2. Might work for the 2 6s and the 3-0. But not the other way around. Alright, so, and again, here's the current weather, hour and 3 minutes ago, 130 at 14. So, we are heavily favoring 1-2. About a, let's see, 16 knot. About a 50-degree cross. Wow. All right, let me kind of look ahead. I know there is an event planned in the Miami area today. That's why I'm kind of cautious with what's on air. Trying to get in before it. Let's see. Alright, folks, give me a second here. I think. Not sure if we have a visitor or not. Okay, we've figured out what's going on with the dog. The dog. Alright, so there's no restrictions. Let's just keep pushing in. We may still switch depending on what's going on in Miami. Alright, so let's get charts out of the way. We'll do a brief here in about 30 minutes or so. We'll get a little closer. Alright, let's get back outside. Talking about the eclipse, did anyone get any good pictures of it? I know I could. My iPhone just gave me nothing but white dots. Maybe that was my eyes, I don't know. I know Hawker 125, if he's hanging around here, might have some pictures. He might have some pretty good pictures of the eclipse, but I don't know if he's still around or back at work. So. But anyway, folks, I hope you did get a chance, those of you that were in the path. Again, if you do get a chance and it is coming over you, hopefully get a good day with weather and all to be able to see it, because it is really neat to see. Even when I was a kid in Charleston, I got to use the little shoebox thing, you know, they show you how to make. That was still pretty cool, folks. That was, like I said, 5th and 6th grade, so somewhere 5th, 6th, 7th grade, middle school. So it was quite enjoyable at the airport. Like I said, people watching you're gonna find that to be even better than the eclipse. So. I'm on baby watch patrol while we're filming here. So, watching the little grandkid. He's kind of funny. Nuts are just kind of arms moving every which way but loose. It looks like she's trying to sleep. She might be getting a little upset. I'm going to take a quick break while we're in these commercials. I'll be right back, folks, to tend to the little baby. All right, folks, we're back with you. We're just away tending to the little granddaughter sitting next to me, making sure everything was going well for her. And there she is, looking right up at us, folks. It's just fun to watch. Makes you wonder when you watch a small child, week old like this, what's going on. Alright, so looking here at the flight, we're cruising over the Floridian Peninsula, headed towards Miami, right now towards St. Pete. And dial in St. Pete. That way when we start seeing it here, we'll better information. St. Pete, 16. Sarasota, 17. 0. Just realized we were still on Unicom for Indianapolis. Alright, we're on the right freaks now. Alright, so we got St. Petersburg and Sarasota dialed in. We get down here to Palms, we'll actually intercept the 101 degree radial, well, inbound radial to Dolphin 113.9. So we're pretty much on our way, folks. Now let's bounce up here and see if we're picking 96 miles out of St. Pete. Nice. That's about right. And just so you all know, once we reached St. Pete, if you were flying SIVA, now if you know the coordinates for each of those VORs, you could just keep it on the SIVA or switch to VOR navigation. And I think I might try my hand at it. All right, let's take a look down here. Pull up our FMC one more time. Go progress. About 155 miles out. All right. What I am going to do now is we'll get into that arrival brief. Bear with charts. All right, let's take a look at it, shall we? So again, I clicked something wrong here. I had it. All right, the D-ATIS for Miami. You know what? Hang on a second. Let me explain that real quick. Let me bring in SimToolkit. It's real easy for me to do that here. But if you go to this site, datus.cloud.io, it'll be the same as this. Okay, it'll look like this. Go up here, click Facility, scroll down to, you can see there's a whole bunch of U.S. airports under this. And there you go. We're under arrival, but you could look at departure or arrival. We're in arrival, so we can read what the ATIS is for the arrival. Some of the bigger, major, denser traffic, a lot of thick traffic in and out, you may have split ATIS. Okay, so we got 120 at 17. Bear with me a second. Is that the same one? Yes. So as of 17 minutes ago, 120 at 17, gust to 24. I am seriously thinking about 12. 10 miles of visibility. Few scattered layer at 3,200, and our ceiling is 25,000. Okay, period. We know we can land at this airport, especially if we land on 12. There is no crosswind component to worry about. Okay, now let's push on. Approaches being conducted parallel, converging, and intersecting run. So what that means is arrivals. ILS to 8 right, 9, 12. RNAV GPS available to 8 left, LDA to 12, holding short of 9, 8,100 feet for your landing, holding short of 12, 9,700 feet of runway. Okay. So it gives you a lot of information, and if it was raining, snowing, icing, which if it's doing that in Miami, it's a good bet you may want to just go somewhere else. No, just kidding. Because they probably can't handle it. But if it was, you'd have appropriate friction numbers there. But anyway, here you go. See, notice to air missions, the old word NOTAM, now called notice to air missions. It tells you what was real world, what's there, what's not. Real world is what you're seeing here. All right, so again, here we are. Here's where we're going. Here is where our star starts. Speaking of that, okay, so St. Petersburg. Here, let me just hide this. We'll come in 116.4. You saw me set it. Okay, yeah, we understand. So out of there, we'll fly 173 radial to Sarasota, 117.0. 152 radial to Palms. Palms will be 105 miles. We'll intercept the 101 radial at Palms to Dolphin. Then we go Privy, Coffs. We do a hold here if needed at Privy, 10-mile legs. That's if it's needed. What I'm going to do is at Coffs either drop down to catch the 8 left localizer or go north a little bit and catch the 12. I'm really starting to think we ought to do 12. Matter of fact, you know what? We're going to make that call. All right, so let's show you how we do that on the fly. Real quick, go here. Let's scroll down. ILS runway 12. We're not going to do the DHP trans. So let's come down a little further from Palms ILS. Let me get the chart. What a Gloria. Okay, now it's going to look a little funky here, folks, because again, we read the chart. You saw how that worked. Real simple. Just click here and it lets you see how things relate. We're going to come off Coughs to Gloria and make our approach. Gloria, by the way, is a 16-mile final. And that should be a good intercept angle for a 1-2. Get to that in a second. All right, so from Coughs to Gloria in. Okay. All right, now let's go to this real quick. Across the top, there's all our frequencies. There's our localizer. That's the big one, 108.9. Then we got to put in our heading of 124. VEPCO, see it right here, 7.5 miles out. We need to be at 2,000 feet or 1,991 feet AGL on the glide slope. Minimums for this airport is 368 feet above the ground. Now, how many of you all can read that on here? If you can, you're a better person than I am. You can do one of two things. Set it for 350. So pretty much like right here. I'm going to set it higher just to be safe. Or you could just set it at 400. You're not going to hurt anything, folks, at 400. It gives you just a, okay, 400. Oh, okay, we don't see. We're going around. Then all of a sudden you see it. Oh, well, committed. 9 feet airport elevation, 9 feet touchdown. Okay, missed approach is to Virginia Keys and hold. 3,000 feet. Finally, here's our path. Gloria, Piana, VEPCO to the runway. Now, we can do something here real quick. I'm not sure if it'll show up or not. Let's try it. Worst case scenario, let's get rid of that. Oh, yeah. Let's go to landing. Okay, we're planning a VREF of 126. We'll do about 135, 136 on approach. Why did I go there? Right here, folks. Let's call it 140. It's a 2.5 mile run from VEPCO to the missed approach point. 2.5 minutes. If we don't see the runway, it's a go around. Actually 2 minutes, 34 seconds. Might give it a couple seconds more or less because of it being 4 or 5 knots fast. But you get the point. That's what this is for. Time-wise, it's 6 miles. 3-degree glide slope, roughly 743 feet a minute. Again, our minimums to accept an arrival here, we have to have a METAR higher than 400 feet on there of broken or overcast. Anything lower, we have to look at another run or a different approach. Okay? In this case, different runway. So we can't Cat 2 this runway. And there's no caveats for flight directors or HUDs or anything like that. We also have to have a 40 on the RVR or higher, or 3/4 of a mile visibility or greater. Okay, so there's our approach brief charts and speeds as we approach pi. All right, top of descent now. Wait, set speed bugs, and you just saw them move into position. All right, let's get over here, look at our top of descent. Should be getting in here. 73 miles out. Now, there is not a lot we can do with this one. It's just the way it is, but we are about to come over pi. We need to change our arrival. So we're going to go here. We're going to change this to 12 Gloria. We're going to go Palms. All right, well, I think I did it late. May have to fly it anyway. Okay, what did I say I needed? 173. Alright, so yeah, we basically got rid of our approach. However, we'll fly it per this to, so we're going to fly to Sarasota. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and dial in Sarasota. All right, so we got Sarasota we're going to aim for. Okay, folks, sorry about that. We're getting lined up here. What I may do, and bear with me a second, I'm working on resizing it. There we go. See how this looks. All right, so what I've done is I've just basically resized it so you all can watch us progressing down. Here comes Sarasota. So we're going to come off Sarasota here on a heading of 152. Let me adjust slightly. And we're going to begin our descent. Okay, to do that, real quick, again, always make sure to click altitude select. What'll happen if you don't? It won't stop, okay? We want to set about a 2,000 foot a minute drop here, folks. A little more, actually about 2,300. Kind of got to guess it there. It looks pretty good. And of course, that means we're speeding up, so auto throttle your hand pulling it back to control the descent. All right, folks, so we are hand autopilot / hand flying this. All right, we got to get on the 152. Okay, here we go. Turning to that. All right, so I'm going to set up and try and maintain about a 280, 290 indicated descent on our airspeed. We're set for about 370 to 360 feet for our minimums. We are set gauge-wise. We're just intercepting our radial. We're going to travel, like we said, folks, 105 miles to intercept our 390. Okay, I'm going to kind of gauge it. There we go. All right, again, we're planned now is to go to 1, 2. Now, I probably could have just gone direct. And guess what? That might be straight on that ILS. But let's play it by the rules and bring it in. We're planning runway 12. Now, that will also aid us in getting to, I believe, Pan Am parked closer to the Delta area back in the day. Not sure. Don't know where they really parked. This was an all-out hub for them, so. Pretty much their gateway to South America, plus a couple routes thrown across the Atlantic over to Europe. Okay, remember in the beginning with this flight, folks, I talked about this is DME2. Of course, that's DME1. Over here's DME1 and so forth. Is it a pain in the butt? Yes. 100%. But there's nothing really saying, okay, this could tell me DME2, but what makes it difficult is understanding, okay, so I set DME2 right now to 13.9 for Dolphin VOR, okay. We know that at 44, at 63.2 DME, we should be turning on the 101 inbound radial to Dolphin. Okay. It's really tough to tell unless your RMI is pretty close to 100 right here. Okay. Right now it's not showing because we're out of range. Oh, we're going to be in range here soon. So what I'm going to do, first off, let's bring the radar pitch plate up. And gonna switch VOR2 to 13.9. Now it's showing a DME. You can see right now at about 125. Needed about 100. We also need the DME down to 101. So currently we're only 40 miles out of Sarasota. Got a little ways to go. Got about 60 miles till we're ready to intercept. So you can see where that gets a little tricky. But that's part of flying, you know, things are gonna always be tricky. Our airspeed is being a wonderful pain. Is it gonna let me? Nope. So I just try to keep the caret here close to 280, so I have a reference where it is, but the problem is it's moving with the Mach speeds. All right, currently, as of 37 minutes ago, altimeter there is 3001, 120 at 17, 10 miles, 3,200 feet, still scattered, so we're still well within limits. Ceiling above 25,000. If you're ever curious about that stuff, we got an automatic station, and this gives you what's happened over the last so many hours. So all of this from remark on. Sometimes I'm curious, most of the time I'm not. Okay, so we are coming down, and we're headed to break. So we're going to keep the descent on. We've got to set, pull some power back. We may actually have to start using the speed brakes to maintain 280. Flying radial 152, folks. Stand by. Always love seeing people cut through my yard trying to figure out why. All right. All right, there's 18,000, so let's go to 3,001. $1,000. 3,000. Notice the little caution light up here, folks. That was because they weren't the same. Also, always make sure you see altitude select. That means you've got it set. It will hold it. RNAV Yankee, 8 right, 7,000 feet, 25 miles. Okay. I'm actually gonna pull us up a little bit. I think we're gonna end up we're gonna hit 7,000, but we're gonna be a little far out. Let's do about 1,500, see how it does. The only bad thing, folks, I know y'all are going, we can't see where that puts us to. That's correct. All a guessing game. And there is math involved here, folks. We're not going to run it. But basically, from the point you want to be at, say, 3,000 feet, okay, minus 3,000, take 3 minus, in our case, 35, so that's 33, or I'm sorry, 32, times 3, 96, and then I add about 10 to 20 to it, so about 110 miles out. If we start at 2,300 foot a minute descent, we should, put that in air quotes, be 3,000 feet at that point, 110 miles ahead. Make sure we get that speed brake down. And don't forget, folks, 10,000 feet, 250. Unless ATC says otherwise, which they normally do not. All right, and we're just about there, folks. We're coming into Palms. You notice how the RMI here. Here is Sarasota. Okay. Here is Dolphin. Notice it was up here in the 130s, now down to about 120. Starting to get close. We got to get it to this just above 9 here to where we'll go inbound on it. You literally now could set 101 here. Okay, and as we draw closer, that will begin the lineup. And it's a game, folks, where you work with it to get it right on headed in. The goal is just a couple degrees either way, couple feet either above your set altitudes for instrument flight. You guys in training know all about those requirements. Private pilots, a lot more breath you're allowed, but not, you still got limitations. All right, here comes 10,000. Let's slow it down. 250. Right now, that's as far as my needle can go. Oh, I wish I knew how to get it to go better. Some flights I can get it to work the whole spread, others I can't. Okay, we are now below 10,000. Just in case I did do it. No, I did not. Okay, seatbelts are on. Auto brakes, let's set for medium. And lights are all on. All right. But is anybody really home? Hope y'all are enjoying as we head in. Like I said, you can kind of follow us on the chart above if you'd like. I'll get rid of the text information here. See how that looks. A little better. Okay, we're getting real close, folks. See the needle starting to come over. We're still pegged right on with Sarasota. I'm going to go ahead and pull some more power off. We're speeding up. All right, just lost the VOR. So oh, let me get back on course. We still got a little ways to go. There we go. Okay, now we're going to fly 7,000 feet to Privy. Then I'm going to drop us to, I think, 5,000. get some speed. Use Airbus and 737 folk. Yeah, you love your auto throttle. Here you have to set it. We'll just kind of watch it. All right, so we are pressing inbound. Roughly 60 miles out of Miami. So I hope you've enjoyed the flight, folks. Hope you've enjoyed from Indianapolis down here to Miami aboard Pan Am Virtual. And folks, if you're really looking for a virtual airline, hey, Pan Am is a good bunch of people. I happen to know the operations manager for the Pan Am side of the house. That would be me. We're really trying to make sure the routes are accurate to the year 1985, working with the schedules. Pan Am side of the house flies the Pan Am historical liveries, meaning 1985, the 727s, the Airbus 300, I think the 310, the 747s, L1011s, those are in the schedules. 707s were actually still, no, I haven't seen them. They're gone at that point. But we try to keep it close to what they flew then. There's a couple oddballs in there, but overall, that's where we're trying to keep it. Now, we also, oddly enough, have a TWA branch. Yep, the arch nemesis of Pan Am, vice versa, the arch nemesis of TWA, Pan Am, is part of the group, and they're more modern. They have 737-800s, the A320 for you to fly, as well as the 76757s, MD-80s, 727s, and, you know, going back. But they try to be more modernish, even though they're gone since 2001, gobbled up by American. Hang on. What the heck? Trying to figure out what's going on. 13.9, okay. Really kind of confused when we end up this far out of whack. But anyway, check them out, folks. Link for you. Great leadership group. Appreciate you there, Downwind Sims. Check them out. Here's a link. Also, I meant to say this, but we got kind of tied up in other things going on here. They actually have a DCS side to the house. Digital Combat Sim. So if you're into that, once you join, check out with the CEO. That's not me. I just run the Pan Am side of the house. Check with him, and he can get you lined up with their DCS group. So, all right, we're getting to privy, which means I need to begin thinking about, oh, hang on a second. There we go. Getting us down to about 5,000. Not really sure why it did what it did here. Unless it's just not a real strong signal, which it shouldn't have been a problem. You know, there was actually a ghost flight. Actually, I'm sorry, not a ghost flight. A flight with a lot of ghost stories behind it here in the Everglades. Eastern Airlines, L1011. Whole lot of bad things went on in the cockpit to cause that crash. But The spooky thing is what happened after the crash. That's where it got really interesting. But by the way, a lot of your crew resource management grew out of the investigations of this crash. Very, very poorly handled in there. This is X-Plane 11. Braxyedev, B-R-A-X-Y-D-E-V. It is X-Plane 11. That's the only place you'll find the 727 right now. Hopefully, as we've been having some fun with the word soon, copywritten by Downwind Sims here, they should have it out for X-Plane 12. There it is. All right, so we're going to go ahead and begin our descent. We're 40 miles out. Let's come down to, I said 5,000. Yeah, that's a good number right now. Okay, again, altitude select. I forget that a lot, folks, so I have to almost tell myself that. About 1,000, a little over 1,000 feet a minute. Actually, I'm going to do 1,500 again. And watch your speed all the time when you're descending, folks. Okay. Okay, we're about to coughs. So. This hanging on 101 is just really not working today, is it, folks? Okay, we're going to go ahead and pull the power back. And let's go ahead. We're going to go to heading. And let's see. Let's put in about a 080. And then Gloria's 3,000. All right, so we're looking to set up for 124. Okay, radio frequency will be 1089. All right, we are on our way, folks, to the ILS for runway 12. Miami traffic, Clipper 557, approximately 29 miles west of the field, inbound for runway 12, ILS at Gloria transition. All right, we are looking real good here, folks. We got about 20, we're not on it yet, so let's do that. Flip it, 1089. Okay, we're looking for the localizer, folks. Start turning a little bit. Okay, localizer alive. Okay, according to this, we are on the localizer. Real quick, we're looking at a 125 VREF, flaps 30. Miami traffic, Clipper 557, Gloria, inbound, ILS 12. All right, let's kind of up here. Let's go ahead and get another notch of flaps in. Two four, 124, 1089. Okay, we're set. Glide slopes alive. Flaps 15. Barely can make out the runway, so we'll wait a little bit. Glide slope. That was my bad thing. Forgot the glide slope. Let's see if she'll drop down for it. It's like she did. Okay, we're 12 miles out. Basically, the runway is right here. There's the 8s right there, folks. Or the ramps, one of the two. Everything's pretty close at that point. Last check for changes, 3001, 120, still good. All right, just want to make sure I've got myself lined up on the right runways. Sometimes I like to line up on taxiways. That's why I'm being very cautious here. Okay, we are now 7 miles, gears coming down, flaps 20. Even the autopilot's having troubles with it, folks.
1,000.
Miami traffic, Clipper 557, last call, 3 mile final, 1-2. Yeah, I'm gutsy.
Minimums.
Landing.
300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
All right, welcome to Miami, folks. We'll get off here. And we still got off well before runway 9. I'm just going to go in here, folks. I really, like I said, don't know where they parked. Gotta love it. Let's just take this one. All right, welcome again into Miami. We got to get the APU up and running. Okay, wing lights. Okay, let's just get some things turned off here while we wait. Okay, now you saw the message there. It said 390 something on the landing. We're still in a break. My bad. Or at least my computer doesn't show it on here. All right. Anyway, it showed that we were kind of rough on the landing. You're back too. All right. So anyway, let's take a look at this. We're in here. I think the APU's fired up by now, so let's get it switched over. And we overheated the packs. All right, so our APU. All right, and let's kill the engines. All right, anyway, you saw that it was looked like a pretty rough landing. I didn't even notice what it put in here. We have a gate change. Yeah, see, now it said 324. Now wait, Hawker wins. Nice job, Hawker. 222. That is what Sim Toolkit showed. But Lua, whatever that's called, strip in here said 390 something. Well, I'm going to check the airline. Okay, I can't check it real there. And flight. File flight. And according to Pan Am, after I re-log in, they have us at 370 feet a minute. Now, let's pull up Sim Toolkit. Okay, your flight has been logged. You can see up here the 222 feet a minute. All right, so who's right, who's wrong, who knows? But we're in Miami. That we do know is right. All right, so let's look at it real quick here while we're in Sim Toolkit. The flight looks like this. Yes, we took a screenshot. Okay, it was a 2.5 hour flight, 889 miles, and 7,800 kilograms of fuel for a 1.8 G landing at 222 feet a minute. That's actually not bad. So how did we do on the runway? Because I felt like I could have easily put her right on the numbers. So, Looks like 1,580 feet down the runway, 10 feet off to the left. Folks, that's a beautiful landing. Right in the landing zone, right in the sweet spot, right on track. So, all right. All right, so we are in the gate, folks, and I really hope you enjoyed. Going to try something here. Let me first clear some things up here to make it a little better to see. I didn't pull the jetway over because we're going to try and do a replay. First off, if you're going to be doing that, folks, disconnect. Close up. And then we're just waiting here, folks. Otherwise, it will automatically disconnect you, just to let you know. Well, I appreciate you taking some time from work there to join us downwind sim. Hope you have a great day. We'll hopefully see you here in the future. Have a great day. Oops. Sorry, folks. All right, so let's do a rewind. Good point. All right, let me get some appropriate music in the background. All right, let's get her moving in here a little quicker. You can just see her moving with the winds here, folks. Really, that's autopilot at that point. Here's where we took over. I made it, of course, a lot smoother. Yeah, we hope it's not too soggy either there, downwind sim. All right, let's take a look at it from right here. Dude, I mean, I could have nailed the numbers. Almost touched the tailpipe. It actually wasn't. I don't know where it got that high number. Yeah, that was close to a tail strike. Not as bad as I thought. All right, that was a good landing, folks. Not as dramatic as I thought it was. Let's look at it one more time from the Hawker 125 vantage point. All right, looks good, folks. Unfortunately, I don't have wing views here, so let's do this. folks, let's take a look from the tower. Wow. Yeah, I really would have hit the numbers. All right, well, nice landing overall. All right, folks, welcome to Miami. I'm hoping y'all enjoyed the flight. It was a great 2-hour flight, great conversation. Thanks to Int'l 68 for the 100 biddies, and thanks to all Downwind Sim, Jason Hawker 125, all for turning out today. We sure appreciate you being here, folks. If you do get a chance and you see Hawker up, check him out. Sometimes you'll find him flying, sometimes you'll find him on the drones, but check him out, folks. He's also in the process of converting a Hawker 125 aircraft that he acquired into a flight sim. So check him out. Oh, I did that. Anyway, this will all get you to his endeavor. So for now, folks, we're gonna let y'all head out of here. Hope you enjoyed the flight. Hope you enjoyed the fun we had. And you know what? You know we'll always be here. We'll be back out hopefully Friday, flying to Millennium Aviation, Mac Air as it's called, to their destination of the month. But for now, if you're interested in VA, check out Pan Am Virtual. Here's a link. We'd love to have you aboard. All right, folks, we'll see you Friday. I hope your week goes well. God bless you all. See you Friday.